Hello, people, and welcome to yet another stream. Now, this is a bit of a different one as we will be watching a WTCOC 2025 season friendly match, and it will be quite a hefty one as we will have a 7 versus 7 match incoming. Now, you should be seeing all the players that are going to be playing today just above me on the scoreboard, and they are going to be, well, first of all, this is of course a match between Argentina and Portugal, so certainly respects for both teams already for being able to get so many players to do this match. Despite the quite a significant time difference between these countries. So on table one, we are going to be having Big Nacho 610 versus Sporter Ricardo Araujo, if I do not remember correctly, if I don't remember wrong. Then we have on table 2, we have Matikari Sok, who is actually a completely new name to me, but he is, I believe, at around 600 rated at the moment, so certainly a pretty great standards at Carcassonne. And he'll be going against Glovia, one of the top players of Portugal. Then Lionel Munoz, aka Lord Trooper, on table 3 against Foam. Foam, who also has at least some experience from team competitions before, was in the 2024 WTCOC team for Portugal as well, and might also have some additional experience from earlier seasons as well. Then we have a fellow streamer, LP Tufo, and he'll be going up against Priscus on table 4. And then perhaps some more unknown names to the perhaps the vast majority of the competitive Carcassonne viewers, ex Taiwo, and he'll be going up against Mestre. Then on table 6, and Nico 95 against also a somewhat experienced player, Paiva. And on table 7, IB 90 versus Rabaka, who is a pretty new name to the competitive scene, I believe, but has already had some sort of success. I believe in the Portugal online national Portugal online national championships, which worked as a qualifier for the CCL. Do correct me if I'm wrong. Now, if you want to see any specific matchup of of the ones that are now available, they should be all starting right as we speak, actually. Then do let me know in the chat, and we will prioritize the matches that are mentioned in there. Otherwise, we could start with, for example, let's say somewhere from the middle. So we could go with Taiwo and Mestre. I believe that should give us a match which in which we will witness some clear-ish mistakes due to the players being not due to the players having not a huge amount of experience, I believe. Well, Mestre does have some more than Taiwo, I believe, but okay. Seems that Taiwo is not online, so let me actually quickly check the schedule, because it might actually be that there's only one match that starts at 1:30 and the others half an hour later. So um, okay, let's see. Matikari. Well, at least this has now started, so it doesn't actually really matter that much if the other tables have started or not, but this will be the match we'll start with. Rabaka was national champion 2 or 3 years ago. He did fourth at the World Championship in Germany. Has been in the NT in the national tournament at least a few times. Thank you for the clarification, Afonso, and welcome to the audience, of course. Yeah, I certainly should step up my game on the player names. I have actually most of them written down, but I mean there are just so many names that unless they get featured like several times in a span of like in a I don't know in a quick span of events, then it's a bit difficult to remember everyone. But so let's focus up. So Matikari with a 1 point lead on the scoreboard has a somewhat nice looking road and a city ongoing. Will be potentially having some trouble with with the city, and I am actually very surprised that we are seeing the triangle going over here at the top when he has a city with two meeples on it restricted to a city road tile along with the monastery of Clovius. So a bit of a interesting choice there by Matikari, I ain't gonna lie. Perhaps some yeah, perhaps something to work with on his priorities, as had he placed this Dorito over here, I mean it only takes 2 city caps to actually finish the city, and it's not very likely to get blocked afterwards. Whereas now, it only takes a couple of road tiles to cause pretty decent damage to Matikari. So it seems like Matikari or Clovier, for that matter, are not really worried about the square, and when Clovier is not actively going for the blocks anyway, or for this block rather, then why rush? In the meanwhile, Matikari pulls the final dagger with the left hand side curve, so that works out really, really nicely for him. Gets his 10-point city completed and gets his meeple out of the losing mini battle over here. And now he has a bit of a dilemma whether you go over here, because there is only one starting tile left at this point, or whether you should go over here and actually try to finish this city. Well, he decides to go for the 50-50 to have a chance of clearing up the road, and it does work out very, very nicely for him, as he happens to get the final triple city with the road immediately after. But he does have to now somewhat maneuver around this city, because there are actually not all that many city tiles that fit over here. There are no triple cities with a road. There are, I think, 2 Doritos with a road left. And, well, the starting tile is still there, but he needs it elsewhere. So he decides to take his chances with the Doritos, and I can't really be against that, because, like, how else are you, like, seriously going to finish this city? Like, with city caps, it's not really all that feasible, I would say, because he can use city caps elsewhere. Like, starting tile here, he can definitely take quick points from city crossroads, and there is actually only one dagger with the right hand side curve left anyway, so something to think about there. Glovia goes for the block, but Matikari does get a very, very nice semi-defense there. So Glovia actually only has one good tile to block with, otherwise, well, that being the dagger. But otherwise, I don't think he will be too picky about it. If he gets his hands on a Dorito with a road, I believe he will also instantly go there. If he gets his hands on one when there is one other road Dorito still in the deck. All tables arrive at 22 sharp. Only Matikari Sok asked to start a bit before. Yeah, okay, gotcha. So the schedule that I was given earlier does hold. I had some conflicting information about that, but glad to know how things really are. +4 for Clovier has a blocked monastery for 8, another monastery for 8, and another monastery for 7. So looking actually pretty comfy there. So 12, 20, 27, 29, and then 28, 19, 14. He's +7. Yeah, Clovia is +7 at the moment, and actually is looking quite comfortable, because he can get these meeples back here really quickly, actually. And I don't think that Matikari can actually even do blocking here. Well, he has one tile to do a blocking move, which is the city crossroad to take 2 points and limit this square to a dagger, which no longer exists, because it would then be the dagger with the left hand side curve, and they are all out of the game. Okay, Kilhermed trying to find a good spot for this tube divider. That's a decent spot, actually. Starts a new field with the 2 open city caps, and potentially this shared feature that can get +3 points on it. Matti takes a 6-point field of his own, and on top of that does find a Rotorito, and he is definitely now on the driver's seat. Matti also certainly looking to grab this 9-point field over here, trying to get his hands on pretty much any road tile to fit over there. And Glovio likely actually going to be taking away this attacking spot to the field. I don't think it makes too much sense for him to go here because these fields can still be unified with their one remaining regular monastery over here. And there might be vanillas left as well. 1, 2, actually multiple vanillas, 3 vanillas left. So the final starting tile has also now gone to Glovio, I believe, who took 4 points from the city and increased the size of his field to 12 points. Matti very, very likely, I would say, actually gonna be going over here, I was gonna say, because of the sheer number of city caps that were still remaining in the deck, but he decides not to do that. Instead, just goes for the immediate 7 points, which is also just a very decent move in itself. I mean, 7 points versus potential 8 for the city plus double field, but it's still only potential, not guaranteed. Glovio, I would say, is gonna take this 1 point, and he's gonna then try and get one of the, I believe, 3 remaining vanillas and create one more city on his field, and he's gonna drop a farmer, so would be then able to make a 6-point move. Given the amount of I was about to say, given the amount of city caps left, this seems like a decent thing to do, but he decides against it, just adds 1 point to his city, which seems quite weak actually, because now he doesn't have really that great of a spot for the city cap. He can probably either goes here and tries to connect to the 9-point field, or goes here and is gonna hope to get a city cap on his final move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 1 city cap remaining, and I believe that is indeed a vanilla. There is 2, 3, 4, and it seems to be 1 vanilla. So he could go over here and try to get that vanilla for himself. Then that will be 1 plus 8 points, which is 9, so equal to this, but this might be more guaranteed 9 points because he can still use the same exact tile to get the connection, and he can get potentially a road piece, which he does indeed get. So that was 9 points, and it was actually a absolutely guaranteed connection. So points for Guilherme for finding that 100% a 9-point spot. and I believe it was the absolutely best move he could have done. With 2 city caps, potential 9 points here, the guaranteed 9 points here, and because he only had 1 meeple and 1 more tile to go, it's not like he could have used these city caps or this crossroad as quick point tiles anymore. National team. Yeah, that's what the NT means. Thank you, Afonso. Also, welcome to the chat, Semrak. Hope you're having a great evening. So, a juicy field for Clovia, but unfortunately, it was not enough to really come back from this, let's say, medium-sized city that Matti was able to complete. So first point of the evening goes to Argentina, or first game point. And we shall move on to the next game right away. Seeing that these players do play very, very quickly, we might have this duel between them packed up even before everybody else starts playing. Early points for Guilherme, whilst Matti has to settle for a 2-point road, and Clovia, instead of taking quick points, which would also be a very justifiable move, takes the city, and I'm not sure if this is the main reason he took that, but as you can see, Clovia decided to take the city over the guaranteed points, maybe because he saw that there was only one spot for a field plus city tile to go to, and Matti is an unfortunate victim of having to score his opponent's city whilst only being able to actually use the other city cap for himself. So if this was the main idea for Clovier, I mean, I gotta give like huge props for that. That is not something that I actually do think of quite often, but it is something worthy of investigating in the middle of a game, precisely for this outcome, potential outcome. Let's say, it's obviously not going to happen every time, but it could actually also backfire, because had Clovier, had Matikari gotten himself a regular monastery after this move, then he would have had to discard that. But that would actually hurt Clovier's chances because he was the starting player, and the big advantage of the starting player is that you get to place the final tile, and you get to know And before on your penultimate tile, you get to know and you get to count the final two tiles, and you get to do the decision. Okay, what do I do with this tile, and what if my opponent gets that tile? Then I know what tile I'm gonna get, and so I'm gonna come up with the best plan for that. It might sound, and probably does sound, very confusing to some of you, but maybe at least the more experienced players are um, aware what I'm talking about. Okay, some restrictions of Mazikari's city, and unfortunately so, he actually didn't even bother defending this square, even though there were still two additional daggers that would go there. Instead, he took the very, very safe route, a too safe of a route if you ask me, of completing his other city and taking a meeple back instead of going over here and starting even a third or technically fourth city of his own, at the same time limiting the amount of tiles that go here, and more importantly limiting the amount of blocking tiles that Clovia could use to do exactly this, to complete the final block. But as it stands, Matikari now has a meeple stuck to 1 point, whilst Clovia has a meeple stuck to 3 points, but Clovia is the player who is ahead on the scoreboard, and he has the control of the 6-point field, now a 9-point field, and even drops a second farmer to really be able to clinch that field all for himself, which is not a bad idea. It does seem to have further potential. You could go here with a curve and expand your field to 12 points. Then you can maybe even unify these fields yourself just to have a bit of a strengthened field altogether with two meeples. And then, despite perhaps having a meeple majority because you have meeples on fields, then you can always just drop city caps on your own field and not even have to meeple them. It might happen what happened yesterday to me. Discarded two regular monasteries consecutively in the opening. Oh. Yeah, I can't say I can relate. I don't think that has actually ever happened to me, and is pretty rare indeed. But yeah, sure, that is also an option. Like, you could not only discard one monastery, you could get another monastery and have to discard that as well. Kind of like returning the advantage back to the actual first player. Not exactly something that you should count on. Okay, Clovia gets the penultimate starting tile and restricts Mazikari's city to the final starting tile indeed. Seems like a pretty natural move. Also directs the city cap so that Clovia will be the one who is able to use both city caps with a field and city caps with a road. So that's very convenient for him. So what to do here? I mean, one option could have also been maybe to even go over here. I guess there's a slight chance that then Matti would be able to get his hands on a splitter and then block this square, but the chances of that happening are not all that big. The destruction of the city of Clovera does take place as Matti places the quad city on the most usual spot that happens on the higher levels, adds 2 points to their opponent's city, and whilst making that significantly harder and more time taking to finish. A wonderful tile for Matti Kari, as he was both able to to save his starting tile restricted city and also take advantage of the dagger of the extender that he placed here himself just 1 or 2 moves ago. Start an 8-point city and immediately gets his hands on the divider as well. Does decide to not meeple it, and I gotta say that probably rightfully so. I mean, it's only like so few points the city, so it doesn't really look all that juicy to use your time on. Clovia, meanwhile, without any meeples in hand and has multiple city projects ongoing, which are looking actually pretty not so menacing. There is only one tile to go here, and it is this starting tile, as all city crossroads are gone at the moment. And even decides not to actually use his effort to limit this square to that exact starting tile, as he did not want to give the possibility of Matti scoring an immediate 8 points for this city over here. Instead goes for the completion of his other city, which is also reasonable. However, it does get attacked, and now you have to wonder how good or bad is Clovia's situation really. He's minus 11. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Minus 11. 7, 3, 6. Plus 3, plus 6. Plus 4, plus 3. Are they actually dead equal? I think they might be actually dead equal. But then it's up to the starting tile who's gonna win the game, and it is indeed Clovia who cashes in on that said starting tile. Matti Kari gets a few extra points, but they are not going to be enough, as Clovia will be rejoicing the benefits of this 6-point field, and is gonna leave Matti Kari with not much to be taken. If there is a curve, then Matti Kari might actually have to even go over here. Actually, that wouldn't even... Oh, no, wait, would it make sense? Well, anyways, there is no curve. Oh! Oh, well, Matti Kari just could have taken a 6-point field of his own, straight up. Well, that's a mistake, because now he actually allowed Clovia to freely expand his 6-point field into a 9-point field, so this was actually a 4-point loss for Matikari in the end, but I don't believe it's going to make a decisive hole. I think it's like 5 points short or something for Matikari. A bit more than that. It's actually a 10-point difference, pretty substantial when you think about it. When we witnessed a very closed position, I would say, with very few meeples for both players available there. But Clovia does equalize the scoreboard into 1-1, and that certainly is going to boost up his morale. And all the other matches should have started at the moment, but I actually would like to stick with this one until the end, as it is a decider which everybody always loves, and because these players are playing with a really rapid pace, I believe we should have plenty of time to witness the matches of the other duels as well, or not all of them, but some of them, as was the initial idea. We probably want to go over here and prevent a divider from coming. And this is also a very safe very safe connection, because then neither player can really attack this city again from here or from here, because there will be immediately a platform to block said attack. And I'm really wondering why Clovia decided to just simply make a 1-point move. Maybe he's insisting on making this move with a triple city, but I mean, it's just simply better to make this move like as soon as possible, so that you don't actually have to deal with a splitter coming up later, and it like kind of clears up the tension. Okay, this is going to sting. It's gonna be a filled meeple here, and Matikari has just gained a massive lead actually of this decider, I would say, as he now is in control of a 9-point field, has a nice looking monastery, a city of his own, and he's only 4 points down on the scoreboard, but has an extra meeple, whereas Clovia has 2 blocked meeples at 9 points, a 3-point road, still has to deal with this situation over here, and has a 2-point city on the right. So it's gonna, oh, but now this might be a slip up from Matikari. Like, I know that it is the only quick points that you get on this board, but given that Guilherme is now behind quite significantly, and now that Mati took the 3 points over here, he also created a wonderful opportunity for either player to go here with a divider and get a Road Dorito to claim all these points from this juicy city, and also the 3 extra points for the field. So that is definitely something that could be playing a factor later on, especially for Guilherme. Wow, this is oh, I do not like that move really one bit, I have to say. Like there's a clear reason as to why Maltikari does that. Of course, it's that he makes it substantially harder for Glovier to actually try and get to this field if he ever decides to do so. But I mean, he had 3 meeples in a hand, and he had a perfectly great spot to stack monasteries to. Like this just seems such a huge waste, to be honest. Well, yeah, he does get like a replacement monastery, but like he could now even have a 3 stacked monastery cluster here instead of just doing this. I mean, you can use road tiles here, like any road tile here, to secure the easy connection spot. And like furthermore, what Matikari kind of seems to fail to understand here is that he does have the meeple majority because of these 2 blocked meeples. So it's very unlikely that Clovier will actually be able to win this field. He might even have like big issues even trying to tie that field, if we are being totally honest. We're likely going to be seeing a blocking move from Matikari. There's only 1 starting tile left, and that blocking move does come in a very orchestrated timing, as Glovier was just about to get his meeple out of this city and get 8 points on the board. But now he has to probably just take the 4 points from this city and end his road. It's not such a huge deal that he has to cut off his road, even though it has pretty substantial expansion potential there. But he decides against it, really looking to push for the expansion all the way over, which I'm not sure is the right thing to do. Well, it might actually be, because he takes 2 points, gives a free city cap for either player to take, but as Glovier is behind in this duel, it's going to serve Glovier better than it does Matikari. And Glovier does strike into the gold stream, shall I say? Into a gold vein. And he gets his hands on their final starting time. Also, Maple's the 6-point field. Doesn't seem to be concerned at all of Matikari getting a curve and taking this road for himself. And neither should he actually, because he is placing a lot of faith on expansion of the expansion of this road all the way to himself. And even if Matikari decides to equalize this road, it's not such a huge loss, because he then kind of gets to lure in a Mabel from Matikari as well, and so the roads will be just um, equalized and kind of cancelled out. Ooh, what Matikori actually has to be very careful here, is that if he now takes this road, which he does not do, now there is a potential that Clovier actually, first of all, goes here with a dagger and gets this 3-point farmer into the 9-point field, but also what he might be able to do is get a curve here and a curve here and expand this road all the way, like to, I don't know, 15 points or even more, and also get this second road meeple to this main field over here and maybe even overrun the field despite being in a meeple minority, which would be just quite phenomenal actually when you think about it. But it does not happen as Matikari gets a crossroad for himself and cuts off the main part of the road expansions, as well as cuts off this 6-point field meeple. And that is definitely something that Matikari has to be pretty pleased about. He also now has a 50-50 chance of completing in a rather enormous city, which will put the game to bed if he hits that cow. Clovier, I would be very surprised if he does anything else but try to attack this main field. It is now worth 18 points with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities. And this spot is looking like it could very well still offer a connection spot, and Guilherme agrees. Not sure what tiles are exactly remaining, but Guilherme has counted out that there are tiles to go here. There seems to be at least one regular crossroad. There are no starting tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are no straight roads either. So one tile to go over here. Then we have a city crossroad still available on this square. No daggers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No curves. 1. Wait, are there daggers to right-hand side? There is still one dagger to the right-hand side, which means that it is possible still for Clovier to get a city crossroad here and a dagger here and connect this route, especially now that Matikari gets the one remaining regular crossroad. So now this is the way that that Guilherme has to use if he gets a chance to do so. But that actually would mean... No, never mind, because Guilherme just pulled the cow, so it does look like that this would be the best way to clinch the victory for Clovier. Let's see, he's -5, 6 and 6, +3, +6, +10, +16, 9, 5, 3, 2. He's -5 with a meeple, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be a, well, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 20. I mean, it can still be a 22-point sequence for Clovier if he manages to clinch this out. And Matti, oh, what a wonderful move by Matikari. He counts out the remaining tiles and he realizes the exact sequence of tiles that Clovia needs to probably win and to maximize his point scoring opportunity, and he goes for a ninja farmer, for a 0-point ninja farmer to prevent this exact opportunity for Clovia. This is wonderful stuff. I mean, it can also happen that, if Matikari gets this himself, then it's just, a 6-point tile for him. But this is, like, most importantly, this meeple was placed with the intention to simply deny Clovia the possibility to do this stuff. Clovia very wisely takes away a 1-point spot of Matikari. Oh, would you look at that? Clovia actually got both of the tiles that he needed to get the majority on this field. And with what he would have been able to actually win the game. But it does not happen because Matikari sniffed out the plan of Clovia, and with a wonderful, wonderful result, pulls out the win, I believe, also. I think this city is exactly the amount of difference in points that is the final difference. Oh no, it's a 9-point field, of course. So a 1-point difference for in favor of Matikari, and he did actually count exactly right. Or did he? So after this move, Clovia obviously cannot do this stuff anymore. What Clovia is counting on is still this city crossroad for 8 points, getting him 3 points on this field, 4 points for the city, and 1 point on the road. And I think he needed also this triple city with the road to take the 2 extra points on his penultimate move. Yeah. Instead of this tile over here. So would put Clovia at plus 108, and then instead Matikari would be getting this and this. But then it also does, then also the order of these tiles matters. Or does it? Because you can go over here with the curve and then a 7-point move. No, it actually doesn't even matter. Yeah, so it doesn't even matter. I think after this move, Matikari has 100% winning probability if both players play by the unofficial book. if both players play by the unofficial book, I think Mati wins 100% of the time. What a wonderful 0-point farmer, and I truly mean that. A point to Argentina, and that is the end of duel number 1. And now we shall start witnessing all the other ones. That is what I get for trying to blitz the end game. I mean, it didn't seem to me that you were trying to blitz like more than usual. I mean, you both played pretty fast like throughout all three games, and you certainly had a great vision, Clovia, on the field in the final game. I mean, you actually had two potential routes to get to the field, so can't really say that it went that it would have been that bad. Okay, since I do not see any suggestions in the chat of who to watch next, then how about we check out, for example, Nico versus Paiva. Oops. Nico 95. Let's see if they have concluded any games yet. Yes, they have. So Nico is in the lead at the moment. With 1-0. And we shall see what their other game reveals. Only 7 tiles. Sheesh. Yeah, these countries are not kidding around. They are really like speeding through this whole scrim match. Wowzer. Plus 13 for Paiwa. And oh boy. Nico hitting the absolute gold mine with a triple city with a road. Steals a very substantial city over here. And I wonder if Paiva's fields are going to be enough to save him. It's at the moment it's 18 points. And we have a shared 9-point field over here. Also, there's actually a lot of scoring opportunities on this board. So Paiva has this one, then we have a 6-point road over here, we have a city here, we have a city here. I mean, it's just really, really wet board over here. Nico comes into a conclusion that he does not need to attack a field, and he might be correct. Plus 18, that is negated by this field, plus 4, plus 6, plus 1, minus 4, minus 8, minus 3. A 6-point road goes to Paiwa, and this is actually going to be really, really close here. It's going to be really, really close. Despite all the scoring for both players in the end, it's going to net a ton of points for both. So I'm actually not entirely sure who wins here. Paiwa, nothing better than a 3-point road or a field, I believe. At least I don't see anything. Go opt for the 3-point field. Let's see if that is going to be enough to equalize the duel score. No, it actually does seem to be enough, just about, as Paiwa clinches the victory with 3 points as a result of slightly better final scoring tiles. So we are going to be seeing yet another decider over here. And I mean, we might as well stick around to watch that one. Seems like both of these players are also really speeding through this stuff. Only taken like what 25 minutes for 2 games, which is really not much. Like 6 minutes for each player per game. Okay, first point for Nico. And Paiwa goes for a city. And Nico, see, this is the kind of an issue with lower down the rankings. I would say that players often do kind of not not value these 2 quick points enough. Like, I'd say that it's arguably better to actually just take these 2 points and point the city like downwards here just to limit it, instead of actually just foregoing the 2 points and going for like potential 4 with another city cap. But if you're looking to get city caps, then I mean you could as well try to maximize your own scoring potential by going over here first with 2 points and then get a city cap with a road for +4. So that's a 6 points. So yeah, that's 6 points with 2 moves instead of 4 points with 2 moves. Okay, Nico does limit himself to a city-city road and trying to get his hands on a road Dorito and then a starting tile. Certainly looks like a decent sequence. Paiwa starts a early field, and I imagine it might be seeing this move, but instead Paiwa just decides to take his people back, which is also justifiable. Will we see this move now, or maybe this one? Yeah, this is like both have merits. Though I might have actually preferred this a little bit more. The reason is that then Nico would have so many, well, actually, like all of his features would then need a city tile with a road, specifically city tile with a road, like over here, over here, over here, and over here. Like all squares where Nico has anything need a field tile, need a city tile with a road. or otherwise there's going to be no bueno progression. Paiwa goes for a really moderate move, I would say. Just taking his meeple back from the city and taking the 4 points on the scoreboard. For Nico, I believe this is the move that we will see. I mean, just because it is just such a good monastery spot, and there are only 2 tiles that he can actually block the square with, so probably not gonna be worth waiting. The odds are not exactly on our side to come out of that as winners. Now, where do we actually go with an extender? It's not really a great tile. It decides to just simply discard it. But maybe we could have actually used it over here to create a platform to start blocking this monastery maybe. And like this is like as a discarding place, this spot is usually okay, but in this instance it's not really okay because this spot can be used with a starting tile. And where do we need starting tiles and who needs starting tiles? Nico does. And where do we need them? Not here, but we need them here. So this kind of shoots us in the leg. Though there is also a an argument that this is to try and keep this field meeple on their own field, but they can still join the like larger main-ish field from the left, which is not going to be an issue. Also, this move by Paiwa, taking 2 points instead of actually completing this block over here be might be a mistake. It could very well come back to bite us in the butt, because if this city gets completed, let's say like Nico finds a road Dorito, goes over here, and then places a farmer, then like it's a perfect farmer spot. Like it really is, because the farmer is gonna be virtually impossible to block. There are still gonna be 2 starting tiles to go here, and even if he wouldn't get the starting tiles, he can still just join from the top side. So like now Nico goes here and he places a farmer, like he now does. Like we saw this coming, but Paiwa just valued these 2 points just a bit too much. Like valuing quick points is not an issue, but you have to know when to value them over something else. It is a drastic difference between valuing 2 points at the start of the game when there are only like 5 tiles gone and not much on the board is happening, versus valuing versus valuing 2 points over a complete block on a feature which can be completed and which does get completed, and which Paiwa is going to be paying a huge price. Ay. This is not great news for Paiwa. not great news. Welcome to the fun, Esteban. Nice to see you here. Okay, and now Nico, having had this meeple back from the from the city, he now has extra meeples to spare. Even gets the second starting tile. So actually, this block did end up mattering. Well, as of right now, it can actually still use this route, but momentarily, this extra field meeple is not getting to the main field, which is actually only 3 points larger than the 9-point field of the yellow meeple in itself. So I don't think Paiwa will be too devastated if this meeple doesn't get the connection it wants. We do get 4 points as some damage control though, but at this stage it does not feel like it's going to be anywhere near enough, as Nico is marching ahead with 12-point difference here, with 16, 12, 10, and he is ahead on the main field. So a pretty substantial lead for Nico, and also takes care that this farmer does not see the light of day to the main field. Certainly a justifiable move. Also, do take notes here that Nico forewent. I think that's a real word because you use the past tense. So he did forego these 3 points for the sake of the 2 points, just because he didn't want to make a platform for a possible field entry, and he also did not want to make a big ruin for his opponent to take, because when you are in the lead, if you can manage to keep the features small, especially when you are considerably ahead, as Nico at the moment is, then if you can keep the features small, then all the better. Then you very rarely have anything to worry about. And right at this moment, Nico doesn't really have anything to worry about. All Paiwa can do is he can actually get the final field Dorito, possibly even a divider. Actually, 2 dividers are still here, but the Dorito is what we should be worried about, because that's max points for Paiwa, and it's 2 meeples back. But even that, I don't think will be the end of the world, even though Paiwa does now hit it. Hits his 1 outer, really. I'm saying 1 outer because if he were to do this move with a divider, then that's 2 more cities on the field of red, because red is having a 3-2 majority on the main field as of right now. Nico gets some compensation points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So still 2 curvy tiles in the deck for Nico to successfully connect his 4th farmer. And if he does that, then I would say the game should be in the bag, more or less. It's a 12-point field versus 1, 2, 3, 4 versus an 18-point field, and Nico is 2 points ahead on the scoreboard already. 6 points with this road, and 6 points with this field fight. So plus 12 for two additional meeples of Paiwa, and those 2 additional meeples are actually not going to be significant enough to bring him the win, because he needs to score with those meeples that 12 points, which there is simply like no platforms on this board to do so. There are no big features available for scoring. All monasteries are gone. Like, this is the only realistic um, ruin spot, and Nico even gets that as well. Furthermore, Paiwa actually, unfortunately, goes for a double ninja farmer, even though there is now only 1 curve left. So this will never be able to work. Even if Paiwa were to get the curve, he doesn't really do anything with it, because he can only connect 1 of these 2 meeples. So like, the idea is natural, trying to equalize the field, but unfortunately Paiwa has misjudged the remaining tiles of the remaining tiles in the deck, and the remaining amount of tiles in the deck. He simply never had enough tiles to actually fulfill this this double ninja farmer. More like, maybe in his head he did, if he thought that there were more than uh, than 1 curve remaining. Like, if there were 2 curves, then that would change the whole situation. But when there aren't, and you can't really make that any different, then it is a losing move every single time. Paiwa now taking his time to kind of ponder where does he use this tile to. Looks like a 5-point road is the best he can take, though is it? Because Nico does have 1 more tile in his hand. If that 1 tile is a city cap, which it actually is, it is the second divider, it is actually best for Paiwa not to go over here, because then Nico can just make another city on his field. But instead, what Paiwa should do is just simply take a 4-point ruin over here or over here. Or over here, like wherever you want. Just take a 4-point road, but if he does this, it's the most natural move, because it is the most points, the most immediate points, but it is a worse move than taking a 4-point ruin. And Paiva does realize that, so credit for him for being precise. Unfortunately, that final credit is not going to be able to save him of this loss that he has put himself into. Nico will be getting almost a 20-point final difference, and he will be extending the lead of Argentina to 2-0. So let's see what the other members of this duel have cooked up. So let's see. IB and Rabaka. It is 1-0 in favor of the Argentinian. We can have a look at that game. The pace seems to certainly be a bit slower than in the other games so far, but at least there will be enough time for actual commentary. Again, everyone in the chat who is on a here in distance, if you do want to see a specific duel to be featured, then do let me know in the chat, and we will do the best we can to feature that exact duel. Rabaka in the lead on the scoreboard with 4 points, 11 for the Ruin. Then we have 19 plus 20, and then let's say an equal field here, plus 16 plus 9, so plus 9 with 2 additional meeples for IB. And are there daggers to go here? Yes, there are. There are actually all 3 daggers still to go to get Rabaka's meeple out. And actually, Rabaka also has a 9-point field over here, which is actually very likely to grow into a 12-point field. So, Rabaka definitely in the lead as of right now. Also, Rabaka blocked the monastery of IB, so now both players having a blocked 8-point monastery. That certainly will help out Rabaka in this in this duel of fields, which now consists of 1 versus 1 meeples on there. Also, this is the kind of stuff that you often do see with some lower rated players. So they don't really care that much about like small city points. They care more about this like these kind of like larger fields. So giving up 6 points for potentially getting majority on a large field is a like not at all uncommon to see at this level. And for Rabaka, it does seem to be playing off pretty well actually. Oh no 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 no. This is I have to say a bit extensive. I mean this second meeple over here already had great chances to actually connect into this field. So when you go there with even a third one, instead of going with the cow over here and actually like blocking every entry to the field, yeah, well actually every single entry to the field, then you are basically just losing a meeple, which obviously isn't good. because there are no more daggers to this hole right here, so that cannot be used as a means of getting to the field. And oh boy, I have actually missed entirely that this field is not only the 18 point, the 15 point field, but it goes all the way around to the south. It covers all of the map. Ah, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, I see. The chat has been way faster than I have, trying to tell me that it is way larger of a field, and then, well, that changes everything. Yeah, then I can't even be like critical about this about this fourth field meeple, because then it's gonna be a 4-2 field fight, and it's gonna be really comfortable for Rabaka actually to really play this one out, because he's only -3 on the scoreboard. He's +4, -3. This is equal -7, but he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's +17 with only one less meeple, which is just fantastic. Fantastic, you know. Yep, yep. All of a sudden, that expansion, that sudden expansion of a field, um, changed the entire game. So looking very good for Rabaka. There is still a possibility, actually a pretty large possibility, of IB getting this meeple back. There are still 3 field crossroads in the deck, but with 11 tiles to go, I don't see IB winning this game unless he is able to equalize the field, which is going to be really troublesome for him to do, because he needs to connect this one and then use at least 5 tiles altogether to get 3 more meeples onto the field, and I don't see exactly how that's going to happen, because there are almost 0 spots to even try to get to the field. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, not even regular curves remaining. So this, you can't even go ninjas with here. Yeah, this is really bad for IB. Really bad. On top of that, Rabaka just keeps racking up these points one by one, city after city, 7 here and another 7 to come, like here or here. It's just fabulous tiles for Rabaka at the moment, and he's living the absolute life. And there's nothing that IB can do. He has what, this plus 6, 4, 2. He has 4 tiles left, and there is 0 way for IB to actually equalize the field anymore at this point. There is 0 way. So at this point for IB, it's just about trying to maximize your points and have it's just about how much points can you like try and stack up so that you don't lose as badly. And probably, oh no, oh no, oh no. Yeah, this is not good. Because IB has to use a tile here and a tile here if there are even any tiles to go there in the first place. Like, he has 2 tiles left after this one. He doesn't have the firepower. He doesn't have the placed meeples enough so that he can actually tie this field. There is no way he can do that, but I think he has completely misjudged that fact. Yeah, unfortunately for IB, I think he hasn't realized that, and he still kept going for the field. Welcome, Ignacio and Leo. Sporter lost with Ignacio and gave him the victory. Don't want to play another game. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate indeed. Okay, well, IB does realize that he doesn't have the meeples to connect. My question is, why does he not meeple a monastery with 2 meeples in hand? Certainly a strange option or choice. The best that he can now do is just to take this 4-point road here, and then another 4 points for the city. It's gonna be pretty substantial point difference when the field points are counted. 4 points for Rabaka also. Okay, well, a minor slip up, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter as Rabaka has the field all to himself. And after these points have been counted and we see the result, then let's take a moment and update the entire scoreboard of the match, as I see that there are plenty of result comments in the chat. A sizable win for Rabaka for 23 points. And he ties on table 7. So Priscus won 2-0 and Foam won 2-1. Oh, 2 and Foam 1-2, and then Portugal ties 2 and 2, and then Sporter lost. So we'll mark that as, oh, sorry, not that, but 2 and 3-2. So that should be correct now. We'll do some checkups on this as well so that I don't get completely fooled here. So Priscus indeed 2-0 and Foam a 2-1 and Sporter, as mentioned, lost by a tie. Yikes. To Ignacio and apparently concedes his duel. So now what we have left is still X-Taiwo versus Mestre and the decider between IB and Rabaka. So let's see how Mestre and Taiwo are doing. It is also 1-1 between that pairs, so this duel can still go either way, or this match. Though Portugal does need to win both of these deciders. Let's head on. Yeah, let's actually watch Taiwo versus Mestre just to be able to feature at least some of their game as well. Okay, on the scoreboard looking good for Mestre with a plus 13 lead. Then a lot of um, not completed cities. So plus 17, plus 13, 7 equal 9, 5, 1, 3, 1, 4, and 7. I think Mestre is plus 7, if I didn't count completely wrong. So let's see, are there starting tiles? 1, 2, 3. There is one starting tile still remaining, which would be just magnificent for Taiwo. Would get, and he does get it. So he's gonna get 6 plus 6, so 12-point move there, which might actually put him in the lead altogether. And Mestre will have to figure out something. Well, this is a start, so he can go over here, finish the city and drop a farmer. So that is a 6-point move, gets a city on this field and on his earlier field. Taiwo looking to probably meeple the 6-point field at the top, or maybe a 5-point monastery, but with so few tiles remaining, I would say that it's more urgent to be the first on this small 6-point field. Well, yeah, that also works. If Taiwo is going to be able to unify these fields, then it's going to be actually 5 plus 3 points with 2 tiles, so not at all a bad spot there. Oh, that seems like a big slip actually. With 2 meeples and only so few tiles remaining, I mean, just taking this ruin altogether seems like a way better solution. Like, it's still immediately 7 points. Ah, boy. It might cost Mestre, but can't say that for sure. Okay, Taiwo, do you just take like 1 point over here, or do you go over here and potentially create another city on your field? That's a real question. Plus 6, 12, 15, 17, 18, 24, 18, 16, 18, 14, 9, 8, 5, 2, 1. So -1 for Taiwo, I believe. And if he gets a tile over here, it's going to be a 4-point move. Another monastery, but which is also fine. I mean, he can just simply get, 6 points here or 6 points here. This might be crucial. This might be a critical decision. He needs to know what the final tiles are, because if Mestre is going to be able to take this one, then it might be paramount to take this 6-point field now instead of taking the monastery with a stacking opportunity. It might be decisive. Okay, he does go for the monastery, and Mestre is going to be able to take the 6-point field, but he needs to know exactly what the remaining tile is. Because if Taiwo goes here, then this 6-point field will very quickly turn into a 0-point field or 0-point move. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No triple cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No monasteries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is it? Oh, is it a curve? 1, 2, 3. It wasn't a curve. It was a straight road, which means that Mestre just lost out on 3 points because he did not go over here. So we'll see if this 3 points is decisive. And I mean, it potentially might be, because I think the points are going to be really, really close actually. So Mestre better be hoping that these 3 points did not end up costing him the game. And I don't believe it actually did. 88 to 93. Okay, so Mestre could have made it a bit more tighter and go over here, take 6 points and be at 91, but that still would not have made a big enough difference. So Taiwo gets a point for his team and thus secures the win for Argentina of this friendly match. Let's do this, and now it should be correct. And we shall see if IB has finished his own decider. As not. Let's check that this isn't like some random extra game. It isn't. It is the decider still, with 20 tiles to go. So, Rabaka doing really, really well on the scoreboard and is 2 meeples ahead. So looking pretty fine. With plus 19. And he has a 12-point field. So plus 31, 27, 25, 17. Oh, and unfortunately for IB, there is a trapped 0-point farmer, which is going to cost IB dearly. It's gonna cost IB really, really much. Also, a really curious move of Rabaka, going for a +1 point instead of taking +2 here. Considering that both dividers were gone, I mean, this is not the move that you want to make. I mean, because IB can never get this own side of his city completed and leave Rabaka with a ruin. That's never going to happen. So a clear mistake by Rabaka there. Finishes an 8-point city and 11 more points for Rabaka's field and scoreboard. Are there any regular crossroads? 1, 2, 3. There is one, and IB does get that, which probably means that Rabaka still has to go with the third farmer, which shouldn't be an issue. I mean, he can just go over here with this tile and take a 6-point field and deny this field connection opportunity. Seems to be a really clear way to go about this. And he does do that. Now it's going to be actually really difficult to attack this field. Well, there may be a will and a way. If IB goes over here, drops a ninja farmer, and then gets the 6-point road at the same time of connecting to the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Still 2 curvy tiles left. And actually no crossroads whatsoever. He does find it. Really nice find by IB here. So that's going to be actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 24-point move if he is able to pull that one off. And maybe, you know, as Rabaka, maybe we could consider going over here and dropping a farmer, though I'm not actually sure which. I'm not actually sure which curvy tiles are remaining. There are no road Doritos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like one regular curve and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it is a dagger, but to which side? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. It is a dagger to the right hand side, so I think but it's this is really awkward for IB because he wants to take this field here, but then when he takes the field, he can't actually take the points from this. And he's actually forced to draw one of the curves too. Yeah, he now draws the curve, and he can't take advantage of these points, which is a shame, but it do be what it do be. So he potentially lost out on 6 points. But, you know, looking at the map, I don't think it's going to matter in the slightest. Yeah, because IB hasn't actually won any features. He has merely tied features on the board. So he's not really getting like any extra points. He's not really getting the opportunity to catch up on the scoreboard. But despite that, a really great effort for by IB to actually first find this basically unblockable ninja farmer field connection and then actually also get the tile that he needed. Maybe a little more patience with his final farmer would be like just a cherry on top, but you know can't get everything you want. And also even like despite even if IB would have had like the biggest nerfs uh, available in the game, then uh, it still would not have actually been enough, as it was only 6 points that he missed out on. So Rabaka takes the final duel for Portugal, and thus we now have the final result of 4-3 in favor of Argentina. So looks indeed that actually both teams are in pretty good shape, not giving out, well, almost not giving out free games, because Sporter did actually uh, not play a second game at all, but at least didn't go without a fight, as the only real game he lost to Big Nacho was with a draw. And well, we did see um, kind of a lot of mistakes from both sides, from both Argentinian players and from Portuguese sub. So there is certainly room to improve still, and hopefully some of these players can, for example, watch this stream back and see and learn from these comments. A little hint for the team captains that guide them this way. For tomorrow's stream and for future days streams, we have some stuff sees. So we have uh, 4 CCL matches about to come. We have 2 of them tomorrow, and we have 2 of them on the 28th. So on, I think that's Friday, or yeah, that's Friday. And so tomorrow at 13:25 UTC, we will be starting the stream between Napalm Eye and Pakshay. These are, of course, the quarter-final matches of the second season of CCL. And then later we have an evening stream of Vladimir Kovalev and Pavel Hudek. And then on the 28th, we have Utsematse and Isloon. So Ilya Slonimsky versus the strong German, who's, I don't believe actually Utsematse has even revealed his actual name to public. So who knows how long that will remain as a mystery. So that'll actually be a really early morning stream for Europeans. And then we have an afternoon match with um, Alexei Pekushev, who I'm sure most likely all of you are familiar with. And he's going to be going against Rabbit Rain. So that'll be very interesting, actually. So the top 1 elo of all time versus the top 2 elo of all time. And also, Rabbit Rain has been the only player so far who has been able to beat Alexei, and that happened in the CCL qualifiers, where Rabbit dropped Alexei in the upper bracket and made Alexei take a little bit of a detour through the lower bracket and have a little more difficult time. So that will be certainly the I'd say the peak match out of these four, at least for myself. Of course, it is noteworthy that out of the 8 contestants left, we have 2 Latvian players and 2 RCP players, and then um, Thailand, Czech Republic, Germany, and Japan are trying to not let simply 2 nations get all the glory and all the top 4 positions. So I'll be seeing you tomorrow then. That'll be all for today. I hope you all have a great rest of the evening or night. And I will see you again very, very soon. Bye for now.